Over the past few decades, chimpanzees have been discovered not only using stone tools for basic stuff like cracking nuts, but also having the ability to select, transport, and even reuse specific stones, showing a level of foresight and planning that echoes some of the earliest stages of human tool use. But millions of years after humans first started playing with stones, we've sent people to the moon, built vast cities, created poetry, math, and music. But is the human brain actually unique in nature, or are we just another clever animal? The average human brain weighs about 1.3 kilograms and has a volume of roughly 1,260 cubic centimeters. In comparison, the largest brain belongs to the sperm whale, weighing about 8 kilograms. Other animals, such as dolphins, have brains weighing about 1.5 kilograms to 1.7 kilograms, while elephants have a brain weight of about 5 kilograms. Obviously, however, all the animals I just mentioned are larger in mass than humans. Sperm whales, for example, weigh about 40,000 kilograms, making their brain to body mass ratio about 1 to 5,000. Humans have a brain to body mass ratio of only 1 to 40, yet small ants beat us, having a brain to body mass ratio of 1 to 7. But before I continue, I just want to plug my TikTok at LearnNeuro, where I posted a video on this exact topic and got more than a million views. In that video, a lot of people commented that the brain to body mass metric doesn't mean anything, as there are many factors to consider. First off, to these people, they need to watch the whole video before they comment, and second off, they're right. A better, more interesting measure is the encephalization quotient. The encephalization quotient, in short, is a measure of brain size based on actual brain mass over expected brain mass. The measure for expected brain mass was determined based on a few reference species and basically accounts for how the larger an animal gets in size, the more of their brain mass is utilized for stuff like sensory input, motor control, and just general bodily maintenance. So, for example, an elephant will have more volume of bodily content, so more neurons will be allocated towards that and maintaining that. But based on the incentivization quotient, or EQ in short, humans have a ratio of about 7, while sperm whales in comparison have an EQ that's much lower. But I couldn't really find a source that had the exact EQ value, but I've seen sources saying that sperm whales have an EQ of around 1.78, and I've even seen some sources saying that it gets to as low as 0.28. But in terms of ants, who, as I've said before, have the highest brain to body mass ratio, it's hard to find a specific EQ for them, but regardless, humans top the list for highest EQ. And in close second, I think dolphins come. In close second. But naturally, you might ask, where is all our extra brain mass being allocated to? And the answer is in neocortex. So the neocortex basically is where higher cognitive function is thought to originate from. Your frontal, parietal, occipital, and temporal lobes all are part of the neocortex. But what's the most interesting part is that the prefrontal cortex is part of it too. And the prefrontal cortex is larger in humans than any other animals. And the prefrontal cortex is important because it functions in decision making, abstract and logical reasoning, social behavior, and working memory and attention. Anyways, now that we outlined the anatomical reason for why our brain is special, I just want to briefly answer the question, what makes our form of intelligence separate from other intelligent species? So, as I mentioned before, chimps, a close relative to humans, are known for their use of tools, but they're also known for their social understanding, memory, self awareness, and having much more traits similar to humans. Other animals like crows, dolphins, and elephants, they're known for their amazing problem solving skills and emotional intelligence. Octopuses, they're known for having a decentralized intelligence. And what this means is that a large portion of their neurons are located outside of the brain, and in particular in their arms. So, what this kind of allows is their arms to be like mini brains, as their arms are able to process their own sensory information and also initiate their own movement. And what this leads to octopuses having is a more complex and unique behavior. But what no species does is combine tool use, language, planning, and culture like humans do. The secret to human success could lie in our culture. Culture can be best defined as the collective nature of art, knowledge, customs, achievements, and other things related to social behavior. In animals, the existence of culture is questioned but can be seen in some forms. An example can be seen when McGrew and Tootin noticed the development of clasping behavior in a group of chimps, but didn't observe that in other groups. Another important aspect of culture is language. Prior to the development of language, humans showcase their abstract thinking through cave art, poetry, and other forms of creativity. This ability can likely be attributed to the default mode network, or DMN for short, which is a network active during daydreaming, self reflection, and imagination. Over time, as language developed, this allowed humans to teach, tell stories, and in general preserve knowledge from generation to generation. Language itself involves a broad connection of neural networks, but parts of our brain, such as the Broca's area, which is involved in speech production, and the Wernicke's area, which is involved in comprehension, both evolved as part of our overdeveloped neocortex, and they both play an important role in language. But these features have been found in other species, such as primates, but they're noted to not be as specialized as ours. The advantage of language in communication itself is that technology discovered from one generation can be retained and improved upon in the next generation, and then so on and so forth. In addition, language allowed humans to communicate more effectively. Rather than thinking individually, humans worked as a collective, allowing humans to develop much faster than other species. Language as a whole has not been noted in other animals, but rudimentary forms exist, such as make calls. But as I said, no advanced form like we have has been noted. A great analogy of the importance of culture can be seen in how a chimp has to learn from scratch when it's born, while a human baby inherits almost 200,000 years of trial and error. In close relation to creativity and thinking, consciousness is a trait that many point out as what distinguishes us from other species. While consciousness is a heavily debated topic, just for the sake of this video, I'm going to briefly touch upon it. But some questions that come up in regards to consciousness is whether consciousness is unique to humans, or is it just more developed in us? Are we the only species on Earth that can sit silently and reflect deeply regarding why we exist? Is consciousness even rooted in our brain? Anyways, in regards to other species, self awareness has been shown in animals such as chimps through the mirror self recognition test, but advanced forms of cognition such as metacognition still needs to be further tested. But metacognition is, in short, an important characteristic of human thinking, as it is basically thinking about thinking. But it allows humans to imagine, reflect, plan goals, and form a narrative. In addition, humans have the ability to imagine what others are thinking, which is known as a theory of mind. This theory explains why humans have a sense of empathy, morality, and social understanding, which is not fully shown yet in other species. In this video, we only compared life forms on Earth. If aliens are real, which I believe is true, then there must be a form of intelligence that surpasses us. In addition, just like how humans develop over millions and millions of years, could artificial intelligence one day emulate the beauty of our mind and become smarter, faster, and more creative than us? Anyways, if you like this video, please like and subscribe and tell me in the comments, do you think the human brain is special?